Today, on Weenie Envy, Thopter Engineer. 2 and 1 red for a 1/3 creature. This human artificer comes from Magic Origins. It's actually an uncommon card, but it's extremely powerful, not just because it puts another creature into play, but because it gives artifact creatures you control haste. For 3 mana, you have a 1/3 creature, and that makes it a little bit vulnerable, but 3 mana being able to give your artifact creatures haste means it's easier to build a deck around. Plus, putting out a 1/1 colorless creature means for 3 mana you have a 1/1 haste creature, as well as another 1/3. Essentially, this could be a 2/4 creature for 3 mana. But because you can split it up with things like, you can use Dauntless Onslaught, you can use a lot of different effects to just pump up more than one creature because of Thopter Engineer coming into play with an additional token. But it's that extra effect of haste that makes it very good. In Standard, you can play things like Juggernaut or even Angel's Tomb with other creature effects that can come into play, and they can suddenly swing out. So on your 3rd turn, getting out to Thopter Engineer is amazingly powerful, but then on your 4th turn, having that mana to cast a Juggernaut is even stronger, because that's, I don't even have to tell you. That effect can really take a lot of people by surprise. In fact, just the idea of all these creatures that can put out an artifact creature, or a very, very strong, very powerful artifact creature, are very surprising because, again, haste is such a powerful effect in red that being able to give all of your artifact creatures haste, it really takes people by surprise. Now, of course, there are a lot of different effects that work well with Thopter Engineer, but we're going to talk about those artifact creatures. You can use it with Dreadnought, Phyrexian Dreadnought, to put it into play, then stifle the effect, playing red-blue. Or you can trick bind it, or you can even play Inkmoth Nexus, put it into play, activate it to make it into a 1/1 artifact creature. Because it has haste from Thopter Engineer, it can suddenly swing out immediately. So players have to put their decks into a different strategy. Your opponent has to deal with that haste ability as quickly as possible. But for 3 mana, you get it out, and they don't want to waste a removal spell on a 1/3. They really want to waste that removal spell on that artifact creature. So they have to learn how to balance casting spells and not casting spells. So Thopter Engineer can actually buy you a few turns by putting it out, being able to swing. Your opponent's going to hold back their mana thinking, I need to get rid of that Juggernaut that's going to come out. Or, and this is amazing, you can actually use it with Blightsteel Colossus. Because Thopter Engineer is a human artificer, it's a non-artifact creature that puts an artifact into play. You can play it in decks with a very little-known card called Shape Anew from Scars of Mirrodin block. Shape Anew costs 4 mana, 3 and 1 blue. Target artifact's controller sacrifices it, then reveals artifact cards from their library until they reveals cards from their library until they reveal an artifact creature, and then they put that creature into play. Thopter Engineer produces an artifact token without actually being an artifact. That means you can have one artifact in the library, Blightsteel Colossus, and use the Thopter Engineer or any other type of effect like Inkmoth Nexus to have artifacts in play. You can even go red-blue, playing the other artifact-producing cards, or you can even go red-white, playing, you could play red-white with Blade Splicer, or let's see, what is the one? The Commander's Call. Oh, what is it called? The one that puts 2 1/1 mirror artifact creature tokens into play. In fact, red and white have a lot of different effects that can put artifacts into play. Now, you can't play artifact lands, and you can't play Darksteel Citadel type of effects because those are technically still artifacts, and Shape Anew can go right for that artifact card. But you can use Shape Anew with the Thopter tokens, or with the Golem tokens, or with Mishra's Factory token, or as when it's a creature, or gosh, with so many different effects, Thopter Engineer allows you to build a very fast, very powerful Shape Anew deck. Not to mention, again, the Phyrexian Dreadnought effect with Stifle or Trick Bind, just having a 12/12 trample creature you can just immediately swing out with is very, very strong. And you can even play it with mirror cards from Scars of Mirrodin or original Mirrodin block, because they come into play and they can immediately tap for their mana, essentially making them 1/1 creatures for 1 mana that come into play tapped. So you can just keep popping them out very, very quickly. And that's why Thopter Engineer is such a powerful card that people are currently still overlooking. It's just such a good card from Magic Origins. I look at it and I think, wow, this is an amazing card. I'm surprised they let them print it. Think of all the things you can put on the artifact creatures you can put in a deck that suddenly can swing out on your 4th turn, or on your 4th mana, or even on your 3rd mana with just so many good effects. And it's also a human creature, which works well with Cavern of Souls or human tribal effects. Again, It fits into so many decent decks, and it's just such good value. 3 mana for 1/3 and an additional 1/1 flyer. That's why it's the subject of today's Weenie Envy, Thopter Engineer. And I hope this has inspired you, and I hope it's, I hope you're having a wonderful morning, a wonderful afternoon, and or a wonderful evening. And I hope tomorrow is even better. Take care, everyone.